Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Hot Combs and Popcorn podcast. For those who don't know, my name is Danielle.
My name is Brianna.
And my name is Bobby.
And one of the things that we love to do on this podcast is review movies and TV shows in Black culture that we should have seen by now, but we catching up. We just now watching them. And at the end, we discuss, we tell our thoughts, and then we say our feelings as millennials, and then we give it a rating from 1 to 5 hot combs. So today we are reviewing another Spike Lee joint, Malcolm X. It's based on Alex Haley's autobiography of Malcolm X. It's written by Spike Lee and Arnold Pearl. It's directed by Spike Lee, and it's starring a very star-studded cast. We got Denzel Washington. We got Miss Auntie Angela Bassett. We got Albert Hall, Delroy Lindo, Al Freeman Jr., and of course, Spike Lee. So, Malcolm X had a release date of November 18th, 1992. It has, the day that we are filming this, it is the 31st anniversary.
Amen.
Spike Lee just posted about this. It's rated PG-13 and it had a runtime, baby, of 3 hours and 22 minutes. Okay, so quick synopsis. The movie follows the life of Malcolm X in his early days living in Boston. He's known as Malcolm Little or Red. He makes his way to Harlem where he gets into some trouble. He does, drugs, he does some gambling, and he eventually gets arrested in Boston for theft. When moving in, he finds faith in prison and he becomes Muslim. After getting out, he began his service with the Nation of Islam, where he quickly moved up the ranks. And then, after too much publicity, he and his family were often targeted, and he was later assassinated in 1965. So, what we came here to do? We're going to give our review. So let's talk about our initial thoughts. There was, like we said, this was a long movie. This was a 3 hour and 22 minute movie. So let's start. I guess we can start at the beginning. What thoughts did we have watching this movie?
Okay. I just wanted to say something. I already very much respected Spike Lee. I very much respect him now because I know I was watching a documentary, I believe, about his life, and he wrote all of his screenplays by hand. And as someone who wants to write and write for television, I don't even know how many pages 3 hours and 20 minutes go to because I can't even do enough math to figure out the amount of minutes in that. But baby, the Zillennial was Zillennial. I said, oh, it must be 3 hours and 20 minutes because I'm watching it through Tubi, and Tubi has commercials. Bitch. I said, I don't even, and the crazy part is, I don't even know if there is stuff that could have got cut out. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, it needed to be 3 hours, but like, my God, y'all could have split this up like they did fucking Scarface. Like, this could have been a two-parter. This could have been, we're going to release the first half, y'all going to take an intermission, come back. Hamilton is shorter than this. Ooh. I was like. I watched this from 6 p.m. to almost 10 p.m. at night, and that is too long for a movie, but I give Spike Lee all the grace and the glory because I'm not going to say I couldn't, but my God. Jesus, the amount of monologues.
Baby.
My hands hurt. I don't know what else to say.
So since this is someone's life, that's well respected, I will say 3.5 hours makes sense. However, oh my God, it was giving fucking Lawrence of Arabia. It's giving Titanic, Avengers Endgame, Killers of the Flower Moon, The Irishman. These are movies, all of them are long as hell, and I just feel like it doesn't get any fucking Zack Snyder's DC movie that he just did 2 years ago, whatever. That one was freaking 4 hours long. And I don't understand how these filmmakers expect us to just sit and take it But with Spike Lee, I will do it. I will do it for Spike. Go ahead.
Not only take it in 2023. I was sitting here watching this movie. Like, by the time he meets Angela Bassett, I'm out of popcorn.
That was like an hour in, like an hour and a half.
Like, hey, I have nothing to eat. I have nothing to drink. What do I mean, I just,
Like,
you know, we have really been spoiled by this life of short attention spans, because I'm sure it was very easy to sit and watch that in the movie theaters in 1992, but sitting and watching that in my bed, I was like,
yeah, I will say I did not watch it all in one sitting. This actually was not the first time I've seen it. This is my second time seeing it. The first time I watched it, I was braiding my hair, so I had nowhere to go. You know? I watched it over a period of like 2.5 days. You know, like, it is what it is. But I will say, you know, Spike Lee, he just does it. Like, he just gets it every time. How you make a biopic about somebody who was so influential, died tragically, and put like a little sprinkle on it to make it visually stimulating. Even though it was long, it wasn't boring. Like,
not at all.
I'm in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think for me, I watched this right after I got off of work. So I was a little bit tired. But I read the autobiography in high school because it was one of our required readings in like freshman year, something like that. First of all, fantastic book. Okay. Read it if you haven't read it. Second of all, like you were saying, Brie, it's because it's like of someone's life, it's kind of hard to like figure out what could have been taken out of this movie. I personally don't know what I would have taken out of this movie. Like it all flowed. That's the first thing. Like it's not like there was a part where I was like, oh, this is boring. Like I don't want to see this. Like it all worked. So I'm like, well, obviously it's just life, but there was no part of it where I was like, this could have been taken out, because we have reviewed movies before where I have said clearly this part should have been taken out. And I didn't feel that with this. It was just long. It was, but I agree. Spike Lee, he's going to do it every time. And one thing Spike Lee is going to do, he's going to have Ruth Carter on costumes. Okay.
Okay, wait. So I just went to Detroit.
She did.
And you should follow us on Instagram because you'll see the pictures. I think, I don't know. It was in a story. We'll see if Danielle puts it in the story highlight. And I went to the Ruth Carter exhibit, and they had all the original costumes from some of her most famous movies. They had Come to America. They had Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. They had School Days. They had, I'm blanking. I see it. I can't think of it. I'm not School Days. Do the Right Thing. The dude with the hat and the yellow and the fish in his shoes. I can't figure it out. They had Selma, and then they also had Malcolm X, and they had his, I don't think it was the final episode suit, but they had like the bridal suits, all type of things. I was like, Ruth, you are that girl. The detail she puts in her work is outstanding. I think it's great. I think if it's still open and by the time this comes out, please, if you're in Detroit, go to the African American History Museum there. I just know it's called Charles. Can't think of the last name, but there's a bust of him in the lobby, and I can't think of it's Charles. It's the last name of it is the M something. I just can't think of what it's called right now. But I was like, I am in heaven. Like, this is beautiful costume work. Like, and the fact that Angela Bassett wore 2 of those outfits for 2 different movies.
Ruth
gonna do it every time. This is a Ruth Carter stan account.
Yeah. I will say the first everything before he went to jail, I was like, damn, they putting that shit on. Okay.
Big pimping, baby.
With the black and red striped zoot suit that he was wearing. I said, damn. And that's when Spike Lee, he had on the green stripe zoot suit. That shit was so nice.
Can we talk about let's just get into our highlights. Let's just get into the highlights because that dance scene, baby.
Spike loves
Lee
a
gonna
dance
do
number.
dancing.
He gonna do a dance.
He gonna do a dance number.
He loves dance number.
He gonna make him dance.
In
He made him
Malcolm
dance
X.
twice, actually.
Like,
And he was in it this time. Okay.
I know,
He's
right?
in
He
it.
slid in the end. I said, how many times did y'all do that take, Steve? How many times you do that, Spike?
I think he just must love the shenanigans. Like, I think he just like wants to dance. He just has so
Mhm.
much energy. He said, you know what? Let's dance and put me in the front. Fuck it.
Okay.
Honestly,
Why not?
I love a multi-income household. Like, he makes sure he can sign multiple checks with his name on it.
Mm-hmm. He sure do. He sure do. And it's funny though, because on his Instagram post that he just like put out, he was saying like, I was never a great actor. Like, I know my limitations. And I'm like, no,
Okay.
like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? You ate. You ate in this.
Like, don't think that we didn't see you out there doing your thing. Like, we know.
Now, I will say, the stuff that I have seen him in, he does play the same character, the same type of character.
That's
Mhm.
true.
But I don't think that's like unique to Spike Lee. I think a lot of people are typecasted in that way. So
Mhm.
even if he doesn't think he's a good actor, he's good at that particular type of acting.
Yep.
Mhm.
I agree.
Can we talk
So
about how
what's
fine
the-
Denzel Washington is?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm glad. Let's just cut to it.
Yeah, let's cut to the chase.
Let's stop
The
beating
reason why
around the
we're here,
bush.
honestly.
Yeah, like literally the only reason why we watch this movie.
the only reason why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Take us away, Bree.
You know, the aunties were onto something. And
Mhm.
and you know, I get it. I fully get it.
Mhm.
And honestly, I'm not gonna go too much into this because I feel like it's disrespectful. I don't know what that says because he didn't look too far off from Malcolm X. So I don't know what that says about Malcolm X. But
I wasn't gonna.
I
They showed that archival footage at the end.
I've never really looked at him for real, but I was
I was like, huh.
Interesting.
that is an
Betty.
African American man right there.
That's a black man.
That's an Afro man. That's
an Afro man right there.
I'm just look. I don't know if they permed his real hair. I don't know. I don't care. Honestly. The low set eyes do something for me. The glasses are doing something for me.
The glasses. It was the glasses. He put them glasses
when him and
on.
Angela was doing their little flirtation thing. I said, "Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that." Also, while we're on the topic of Denzel Washington and his fine ass,
Mhm.
I thought that maybe this was just like a mystery, or maybe this was post Malcolm X, but I thought he never kissed white women in his movies.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. And it must have just been because it's Malcolm X, you know? He had to do it for Malcolm.
I mean, sure. I mean, I could definitely say outside of this movie, I've never seen him.
Never.
No.
Ever. But I was like, that's not a stunt double. That's Denzel. But yeah, he's a really attractive man.
Yeah.
And I wish more men looked like that in this generation.
Now I will say with the fried red hair, the permed red hair, I was like,
What I will say though, I felt that scene. I have been that person.
yes.
Oh my God.
That's what I wrote down.
Pain. I can visually feel I can feel the pain right now. I could cry if I wanted to on cue. Like
Child.
that perm pain.
It hits different. And I wrote down in my notes something about Malcolm X knowing what it's like to have a relaxer is a little bit affirming for me. Like, it just really solidifies me and who I am today as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
To know that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That's it.
Oh. I was just gonna say when oh my God, I'm blanking on Spike Lee's character's name.
Shorty.
But Shorty. Oh no, it wasn't Shorty the first time. When he first got his hair perm, And they were like, "Oh, you just gotta wait for it to get a little hot, just like it's just a little hot." And he was like, "Man, it's stinging, it's burning a little bit." I was like, "Oh, child,
this
it's
was,
taking me back. I feel, I'm
I
getting
was
war
like, oh,
flashbacks."
that's squirm. I know
I was like, "That's squirm,
And then the second time he came back more resilient, I was like, oh, he
child."
got them scalp. He got some scabs on his scalp.
Uh
So he was very
huh.
resilient.
But
Which
then
is
he didn't have no
Hey,
water
let me
towards
tell
the
you.
end.
That's a black person's horror story. You got perm in your hair with no way to get it
No
out. Oh, bitch.
Water.
that's why he put his
Okay.
hand in the
You got a
toilet.
relaxer. You got a relaxer in your hair and no way to get it out. Oh, I could
Oh,
feel
baby.
I was panicking.
I
Just
was
kiss your
too.
hair goodbye. Kiss your scalp
said-
goodbye.
I said, oh my God, his hair's
I was
gonna
like,
fall out.
"Oh,
And can
oh.
we discuss how he get perm, how he get a relaxer in jail?
Can we talk about it?
Right."
Maybe jail was just different back then, but like you should it's a weapon. Okay.
That's a chemical. It's a chemical. They don't even allow peaches in jail. So how did they allow relax?
The world was different back then.
Yeah,
Okay.
it must have been like a
You could do stuff in jail, I guess, and there was no security at the airport. So
true.
You're absolutely right. This was
Also,
pre-9/11.
it wasn't maximum security, right?
I don't think
Because he was
No.
just like robbery.
right. But he was there for what, eight years?
But
8 years.
I thought he was there for he was there for robbery, but he was really there because he was like a black man dating a white woman and running the
Yeah.
streets.
Right.
So,
So
but
I don't know.
he's
Yeah.
he was very attractive.
Yeah, he looked good. He did look good.
Um,
What other highlights do we have?
I think I saw Robert Townsend at the 10-minute and 30-second mark. I swear on everything, I saw that man playing the xylophone.
Wait.
okay, you might have because
You might.
Now
I
let's
think I
talk
did.
about these cameos now.
Right. Let's talk about because I saw
Your
your
man was in it.
Your man.
I said, now what's Juan
Now,
up here
I was like,
doing?
That's Giancarlo.
Yes, I saw him.
Esposito up here
I was-
doing.
I was like, Bobby about to have a time with this. That's her.
Let me tell you,
Yes.
Bobby, I wanted them to beat his ass. I
Yeah.
was like, kill him
For the culture.
for the
Yeah.
culture. He was
Yeah.
struggling. And honestly, I was kind of having some flashbacks. I've been at the bottom of a pile before, and I was like, he probably really dying.
Probably.
Probably
Yeah.
really
I
dying.
mean, oh
But I
well.
was like, one, and then literally, I'm not trying to be rude or anything. The last 20 minutes of that movie, I was like, bitch, is that Nelson Mandela? I said that out loud. I was like, bitch, is that Nelson Mandela?
Nelson,
What are we on?
there's so few people who could get Nelson Mandela to do a cameo. Like Oprah.
Mhm.
Spike Lee.
What's that one president that we had? Bill Clinton,
Mhm.
and Spike Lee.
I
Mhm.
said,
Like,
is that the real Mandela?
Right.
I was like,
I was like, now wait a minute. And he did a whole monologue. I was like, oh, Spike, you did that.
I said, let me stand the fuck up right now.
Okay.
real.
Let me readjust. I was like laying down a little bit. I was like, I need
didn't
to.
realize what we were watching until
No.
I said, is that Nelson Mandela, bitch? Like, I'm shook. Especially because I don't think I've ever seen him that young, right?
No.
Because
Right.
I think in my brain, I know Nelson Mandela just passed away like maybe 10 years ago.
Mhm.
But in my brain,
Mhm.
1992 was 10 years ago. So I was
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
That's the craziest part about it.
Mhm.
I was like
Like,
y'all
huh.
got everybody in this movie a confusion. What do you even pay Nelson Mandela to be in a movie? Like,
Okay.
that's like having Barack Obama in your movie. What?
Like,
Like, what was? I'm
You
gonna
know
look up what the
what?
budget was of this movie because what are y'all actually doing? What the fuck?
yeah,
is going
because
on?
at this point, Spike Lee had Do the Right Thing already, so he already got the Oscar nom. He did She's Gotta Have It, and he did School Days. So the budget for this one should have been hefty.
Probably, yeah.
Hefty. Also, this one got a couple Oscar noms.
Mhm.
I know Ruth Carter got nominated. What else was this
As she
nominated
should.
for? Was Denzel nominated?
Uh,
I think he was.
I
better look it
think
up.
he was. I saw that. while y'all are looking things up, I will talk about a moment I was confused about, I guess, so to speak. Because when Sophia, who was the white woman that Denzel's character, Malcolm, was talking to, he they were like in bed together at one point, and this was during the whole he was telling her to kiss his foot and all that stuff, which
I mean,
yeah,
You got to get the reparations how you can get it, I guess.
I
I don't know. It felt very interesting.
and he
inside, I said yes,
yeah
do it.
yeah,
Hmm.
and he said, if only your parents could see you right now. And she said, if only Laura could see you right now. But this, like 2 seconds prior to that, he was like, tell me what's your story. So I'm like, how do y'all know each other? Do you not? Like, what are we saying?
Laura? Who the hell is Laura?
Is Laura
Laura,
the girl that he was talking to that she told?
yes,
Oh,
The church girl.
that was living with her grandmother.
I know that's right, girl.
And I was like, now, what are we talking about? Like, what do you mean? So you do know her?
I think it was because at the party, Sophia saw Malcolm talking to Laura. I
he
think
might just know her name.
Maybe.
maybe they just frequent the same circles.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I was kind of living for it. Sorry.
For them, for Sophia and
No,
Malcolm?
oh no, for Sophia kissing his
Oh.
feet.
Oh.
Oh, no, that's
I was like,
For the reparations of it all.
I think I didn't look this up. I guess I should. But one of my I don't know if it's a highlight or like a question mark. So I was watching this. This was before like he was like, I want to be cool with the other black leaders. Malcolm was kind of eaten in his speeches. He kind of was. I was like, now he's controversial. I agree, he's controversial, but he was making points. And I was like, I wonder how many people converted to the Nation of Islam after this movie because he really, I mean, I know Denzel's an actor and stuff, but like, if I had no idea of like my idea of my religion and stuff like that, I think I would have been sold. I think I would have been sold by Malcolm X because he was saying things that was making a whole lot of sense, and I was like,
I think at the very least, if you don't want to convert, you may at least be prompted to be a little bit more pro-black than you were with before you walked into the movie.
I agree. I think if you weren't, you became a little bit more radicalized after, because even after he decided that he wanted to be like, like a regular. Oh, it said how Malcolm X converted 1 million Americans to Islam.
No, I literally
I think that's not the movie though. I don't know how to find it, but I think that he was still with the smoke, even when he was like, okay, I want to be friends now. He still was like, I'll put my guns away when you put your guns away. When he said, this is the chicken coming back to the roost about JFK, I said,
girl,
now that's something you say in your brain. You don't say
I was
that out
like,
loud,
no.
because I said you are speaking things that Black
facts.
people are not supposed to say out loud.
You know
I
what?
have no idea if that was in the book, but
was it?
I don't remember. I have to see.
I don't know, but if you ask me, that's part of the appeal. You know, he says the stuff that's like, I think he just gives people the language for feelings that they already had but didn't know how to verbalize. And that's one of them. That's one.
I that was a very audacious thing to say. Was it
Very.
wrong? I can't say that. But he was like, this is America finally catching up to itself. I said,
like,
you know, they love that man. You know, they love JFK.
They do.
And then I said,
like, it be like Jesus and JFK next to each other. Like, that's how you freaking know.
Now, he did get a 90-day probation for that. So
light work. Yeah.
Which, turned.
Something else I thought was really interesting in this movie. I don't know if it's a highlight or a low light, but I think there should be something studied about Black people killing other Black famous people, because this kind of very much reminded me of Nipsey Hussle, how the Nation of Islam was upset that he was appealing to other people and stuff, and they put a hit on him and killed him. And I was like, that's low-key kind of what that dude did to Nipsey. Like, he was jealous, he was mad, and you went and killed this man who's known by a lot of people, loved by a lot of people, because you don't like him, you killed him. I feel like maybe someone's already done a study, but I think there should actually be like a real study done on what, because I don't know, maybe it's just me. It could just be me, because it was 3 hours and had a long time to think. I feel like there's something there with Black, sorry y'all, this don't have sleeves. There's something there when it comes to Black people, Black men specifically, killing, or people of the same race, I'll say, because the same thing kind of happened with Selena, right? People of the same race killing people in their race that is a prominent figure, especially in marginalized communities. Like, I get what he was saying about JFK. Shouldn't have said it, but I get what he said. But that also, I don't think that was a very like pointed thing. I think that person just had an issue. You know, they see things differently, but it feels very pointed when people of a marginalized group kill other people who are making a difference in that marginalized group. And I would just love to see, a study done on that.
It's very sinister. Fred Hampton and you know,
I was
Juice
thinking
and
about
Black
that.
Messiah. I can't remember the name of the man.
I don't know. I know they kept
But-
him in the FBI like 10 years after that. Like, they wouldn't let him go, and then he ended up killing himself a couple of years ago.
It's also very interesting to me how his mentor, I guess, so to speak, I don't want to call him a mentor, but like the person who was with him in jail who like got him to convert was one of the like people that turned against him. Because it's like, what was the reason of everything? Because, you know, you put him in front of oh my gosh, what was it? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Yeah. You put him in front of him, you know, he was able to rise up in the ranks. They told Malcolm, you're going to be in the press a lot. You're going to be the person who's speaking on behalf. And then when he did his job, they didn't like it. So it's very much like, I guess just interesting to me that those specific people were so against him and so against like how he was gaining popularity. I think that in terms of that situation, I think people kind of got, I guess jealousy, but also like seeing that he was in the limelight. He's, you know, the face of the organization, whatnot. If the leader didn't have a problem to begin with, then like, why do you, I guess, you know, like why are you the person who feels like, oh, I need to tell the minister like he shouldn't be in this position, he shouldn't be doing this. Like, it sounds like you want that position, you know? So I don't know. I'm like, he was kind of around a lot of people that were plotting on his downfall, which is unfortunate. Obviously, he did, you know, have a downfall, but that's really unfortunate. Also very unfortunate that his wife and children witnessed it. Like,
that's the worst part for me.
Yeah.
Angela,
baby, you played that role. That scene where he was assassinated, her screaming, like, it was just like, it moved me. I was like, Angela, you really played what you needed to do in this role. So shout out to her. Let's see. Do we want to get into lowlights? Do we have any lowlights?
I don't have a single low light actually. But I also don't have that many notes written down. After he got out of jail, I stopped writing.
Okay, because I also here's the problem with the movie being 3 hours and 22 minutes long. I felt like at first I was also taking notes, and I was like, okay, like I can comment this, that. And then at a certain point I was just like watching, and I was like
That
into
also, this is like, we all know the story.
right.
So it's like, what exactly am I commenting on as far as like the plot is concerned? Like the plot is his life. So I'm like, but with that being said, I don't have any lowlights, just like things that jumped out that aren't necessarily important.
I will
I'll
say,
say my
go ahead.
important thing then, and then
Mhm.
get into your unimportant.
Mhm.
I really love, Spike Lee did his Spike Lee shot. I think it was a very poignant time to do
That
it.
double dolly.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't read the autobiography, but I don't know if Malcolm X felt like he was going to die that day. But I feel like it was very impactful the way it was done. I also
Mhm.
really love all the little kids that was like, I am Malcolm X. I am Malcolm X. Like,
Girl, I cried.
the ending in the beginning had the same type of weight to me. The children saying, I am Malcolm X. And then in the beginning, starting with the American flag. And then slowly it starts to burn. And you see videos of Rodney King. Like, I feel like it was a lot of good use of found footage. I feel like it was making me a little bit mad, as these do, as they should make you.
Right.
But they were really going into their found footage bag. And so when they finally got to like today, they had the young kids of black and brown color, boys, girls, saying I am Malcolm X. And I feel like it's very much always like Malcolm X versus Martin Luther King, but they both were just kind of fighting the same fight differently. And I don't know. From my perspective of history, Malcolm X has been way more villainized by history books and stuff, and I think it's because with Martin Luther King's message of like all of us living in harmony, that was something that was more easily digestible for white people. And I think that we need more leaders like Malcolm X right now, when you have places like Florida and Texas trying to get rid of schools, ban books, ban any type of AP teaching, not considering it like something they should be teaching because they don't want to teach the wrong history. But it's like, also, no, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because things can't always be digestible just for one race. And I feel like Malcolm X was not digestible for the race that was telling the story. And so they had, and they, as we saw, which makes complete sense to me, the FBI was helping Islam, because once Islam, which I think, again, weak links, not Islam, but
the
black
nation.
men.
The nation of it.
Because the FBI probably offered them money and they had an equal goal, you went and paired up with the enemy like you're not a black man yourself. Like they're not going to kill you next. Like, it was just that's why I said there needs to be a study, because it's very disappointing that you had the FBI walking around taking pictures with this man, following him from country to country. He trying to do mission work. Y'all taking pictures of him. Also, Giancarlo Esposito could kill him and then fall down the stairs and rip his pants. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
It's crazy what hate will do to you. Like
that.
Like the way that all of your logic, all of your core values went out the window. Like, you're collaborating with your enemy, the enemy you proclaimed.
Okay.
That you will never look
feds. The feds. It's not even like it's like a cop.
No,
it's the feds.
The feds.
We talking about FBI.
Like,
I think FBI then, FBI now, very different FBIs. FBI
that is
then,
insane.
They were serial killers.
Okay. Serial killers. And it's honestly already hard enough to wrap my head around any kind of like violence, brutality, like war, like the lengths that people are able to go in order to destroy another human being. Like, it's very difficult to even conceptualize how your brain can be fractured in such a way. But like watching it play out, and especially when it comes to a figure like Malcolm X, like, sure, you hate him, but you see what he's doing to the people. And yeah, maybe that was too much for you because you're jealous and you're hateful and you're spiteful and you let yourself get corrupted. To this point, like, that was alarming. And granted, another thing, I didn't learn about Malcolm X in school. My school taught us about Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. They didn't even touch Malcolm X until I got to undergrad, for real. Like, maybe they glossed over it, but we didn't talk about Marcus Garvey. We didn't talk about Fannie Lou Hamer. Like, literally nobody. Didn't even talk about like Alice Walker, Octavia Butler, like nothing. And so when I watched this movie for the first time, I learned a lot, honestly. And watching it again the second time, it jogged my memory. It makes me want to actually read his book because I feel like I know enough about Malcolm X to be able to talk about him and his policies, but I feel like I don't know as much as I want to know about him. If that makes sense.
Because like the book, like I said, it's a great read. It goes into more stuff. Like he was living with I think one of his siblings. I'm not sure which one, when he was in Boston, and like they didn't even touch that in the movie. So like they didn't go into his, like they talked about, his past and his family and all that stuff, but they didn't really go deeper into it, which they didn't have time. I understand.
Yeah.
But I think for me, like I kind of, like you were saying, how it was pointed towards like non-violence, showing like Martin Luther King and stuff like that, how Malcolm X was villainized. I didn't know that he had a not change of heart, but you know what I mean? Like he changed his narrative. I didn't know that. I didn't know that he took his pilgrimage to oh my God.
Mecca.
I didn't know any of that until I read the book. And I was like, well, people are making this man out to be like this villain, like he's the anti Martin Luther King. Like like you really don't know until you like look it up. Cause like you said, in school they didn't tell us nothing about that. They gave you the two people that you mentioned, and that was it. So I think it's unfortunate that, well, I don't know what kids are learning these days, like, but it's unfortunate that when we were growing up, it wasn't heavily like looked into. We learned about the Civil War, we learned about the World Wars, and it's kind of it. So, yeah, and then I also, what you were talking about with his assassination, he was also targeted. His family was targeted. Like her Betty having to like pick up the phone, and they would say like he's gonna die, or like we're gonna come after your family, like over and over again. I can't even imagine like that, the trauma that she faced later in life, like going through that and like wrapping her head around like, well, what if like we had done this, or what if that? Like it's crazy to think about how they were on edge and kind of like on, not on the run, but like almost like on the run like all the time. And I also really liked how Spike Lee put kind of like a side by side, not obviously side by side, but like side by side of Malcolm and then his father, and how they kind of lived very similar lives.
The cross cutting.
It was so good. Like
that was crazy.
Right?
I said,
like almost
not history repeating itself.
Yeah.
Because in my brain, I was like, when that scene came up, when he was in a room, I was like, didn't he get his house burned down? Like, and like you guys were saying, I personally, and this could just be due to memory. I can't say I didn't learn about Malcolm X. At least until sophomore year of high school, I went to all Black schools. So it definitely wasn't like they're hiding anything. Like I said before on the show, my elementary school, we don't even sing the national anthem. We sang the Black national anthem, and it wasn't even that one. We made up one for our elementary school. Like we have our own. Like it was very pro-Black, and I think that's probably why I am so hell-bent on Black people today, as I should be. But I think that we kind of learned about him surface-wise. I can't think about the two historical figures. I know they did the same thing with W.E.B. Du Bois and somebody else, where they had conflicting ways of how they felt like they need to be dealt with.
It was Frederick Douglass and him.
Yes, it's kind of like the same thing. Like I think we learned about them. We learned that they had two different approaches, but I think for sure, the people who are more quiet, resilient, don't fight back, get pushed in history classes, no matter the demographic. I think that that's a really big shame, because I think, well, so like for the same reason that they were stopping Martin Luther King because he was bringing the races together. He was bringing the classes together, the
Mhm.
poor class. That's really why they took him down, because it was like, oh, we can't have you thinking poor white people are on the same level as black people. We can't have that. We gotta have that, you know. And I feel like Malcolm X is doing the same thing, but I think it's just really unfortunate that his own people did that to him, because there was really no valid reason behind it. It had nothing to do with Allah. It had nothing to do with, excuse me, their religion. It had everything to do with men being men and being jealous of each other.
Mhm.
And like, for y'all to harass his wife, who do you think you are? The mob?
Right.
Like, y'all are not the mafia. Clearly.
Literally. And the worst part is like that's exactly what they want. Like if yeah, the nation killed him allegedly, because I guess it's never like been like said, but like we all
Allegedly
know.
with the help of the FBI. Allegedly.
Yes. Now it's like, okay, now we're fighting internally. It's not like when Martin Luther King was assassinated, like we all knew exactly who the fuck to go after. Riots across the country, like, and that's the saddest part about Malcolm X. So this is like the last thing, the absolute last thing he wants for people to be fighting amongst themselves, there to be turmoil and whatnot. Also, I'm not going to get into the politics of it all because I just feel like if you listen to this show long enough, like you already know what's up. But like, it's just very unfortunate that that it had to be like this. Also, is this the first biopic that we've done?
It is.
I
Oh.
think it is. And you know what? Who better than Malcolm, honestly?
On Thanksgiving, you
Oh,
know,
Oh my God, on the 31st anniversary.
on Thanksgiving.
wow.
Well, you know, the day after Thanksgiving. I think,
Right.
I don't
Black
know. I definitely, I'm happy I watched it finally. I'm happy to have seen more than just the get your hand out of my pocket scene. I had no idea they said it beforehand. I don't even know if that's a real thing or Spike Lee did that to foreshadow. But I do think the meticulous planning that the nation went in to eliminate him as a source is kind of crazy. It's giving very I mean, the biggest thing that he said once he, you know, decided, oh, I need help from other people, he said, white people, you can be there for us, but you cannot join, because we can't have unity until we have unity inside of our people. And I feel like that's what we still trying to find today. Like, we focus so heavy on allyship, which honestly, yes, allyship is something that needs to happen. The people who have that power from their ancestors, from oppression, they should use it for the reasons. But we also, I think, he specifically had a focus on the Black community. And it's just really sad. It's really sad to know that the Black community took him out because of jealousy, because of what he was doing. And
Yeah.
I feel like, first of all, it kind of, when I was watching this, I was thinking about One Night in Miami, which is
Yes.
the
Banger.
movie Regina King directed, with all of like the supposed meeting of, like, I can't think it, if you've seen it, you've seen it. It's like all the Black
I think
people
it
in
was
politics.
Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Sam
Yes,
Cooke, and
yes, Sam
the
Cooke,
football player,
yeah.
Jimmy.
Yes, I think so. And it's just, I don't know. It's just it's a sad thing to watch. I had definitely say he had a redemption arc, because he was big pimping before. He was
Big.
pimping, really risking his life for these
White women.
people. And also, can we give a huge shout out to Dale Oriolando, okay? Because everything he's in, he eats. And it makes sense as to why they had him in the Five Bloods.
Girl, yes.
We love.
We should. Never mind.
I was gonna say that too, but like,
We don't.
I don't know if I want to cry. You know,
That.
because y'all know I have my own little YouTube thing,
I
and I did
remember.
watch that, and that movie came out like maybe like 5 months after Chadwick died, and in the movie he plays an angel. If you don't know,
It was at least the same year.
It was the same year, so that's very heavy. It's very heavy, but I see why the same players, which I also love that Spike Lee calls people the players, but I see why the same players are in most of his movies, because of that dynamic acting. It was just, it was really chef's kiss.
I'm not Caribbean, so I don't want to speak for anybody in that community. However, his accent to me sounded very believable.
Mhm.
I was like, oh damn, okay, so he's acting. Acting. Like, is this man Caribbean? I don't know. Could be.
No, I
Really?
think his British accent helped a lot with that. I think it kind of came through some. Okay,
He's British?
Wait,
again,
wait.
we've talked about this on this show.
Did
We've
we?
talked about this. Yes, that Delroy is British.
See,
Bobby,
every
you remember
time
that?
No.
Okay.
He's a British man. I think now if you hear him talk, you don't hear it as strongly, but when he says certain things, you can hear the accent come out.
And I guess in 1992 his accent was probably a
It was
little
probably
bit
like a little bit
thicker.
stronger.
All right.
It's not like Idris Elba strong now, but like, yeah, he's a British man. So I think, I don't know, that it probably was an easier imitation to do.
These British actors, man,
Wow.
they get you every
time.
They just
Every
be-
time.
They just
I know that's right.
honestly 8.
Yeah,
8.
he was very good.
I was.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was a little bit confused because I was confused when we like followed back up with him, and Malcolm is, Malcolm X now. And West Indian Archie, what's his name? He was in his little apartment, and I think he was like was he paralyzed or something?
Yeah.
He had a stroke.
Yeah.
The drugs.
But then he was like, Malcolm said, we're gonna get you together and blah blah, and then we never saw him again. Like,
Okay,
Did he
fair.
die?
That is the one scene I think they could have taken out. That's
Yeah.
like the one. I think they could have just made that montage clip like they did the other people. There was like one
Mhm.
in the jail. I do personally feel like, although I love seeing Delroy Lindo on screen, I
Love.
think that could have been taken out because, like you said, you never saw that nigga again.
Never.
No. Sorry, Bobby. Go ahead.
I actually didn't have anything. Okay, well, I will say.
Okay.
Okay, I guess I'll just go over some of the stuff that I had written down. This one, listen, our target audience knows what's up. The Black Americans, okay? And I'm just gonna say it.
Oh, I'm scared.
Rebuking white Jesus, I know that's right, okay? Like I mean, it was never really a question.
Because if we're geographically,
Let's get into it.
let's get into it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense for him not to.
I'm not saying that Malcolm X was controversial, but I am saying, as someone who is of, Bible reading religion, I will say he is not a Wahite man. So much now he now recently realized. I realized, like, I feel like I knew this, but it didn't really come to light until that whole Jamie Foxx stuff came out. Did recently realize he was Jewish, but he was a Black Jewish man.
Wait,
Right.
Excuse me? Wait,
He was
hold on. I'm
Hebrew.
sorry. I got lost. Who's
Yeah,
Jewish?
Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, I thought you were talking about Jamie Foxx.
No.
It's
If
like,
he
okay,
had,
cool.
said something and all the Jewish people were like, he's anti-Semitic, and all the Black people were like, what are you talking about?
Oh.
And they were like, he's Jewish. And we were like,
Oh, because he was
Like,
like, they killed Jesus, so what will they do to you?
and they were
that
like,
thing?
I was like, honestly,
Oh.
we don't even think about it in that
And
way.
it's like,
We-
you
Right.
about this business, like, you don't understand how we talk.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
I'm caught up.
Understood, but
Right.
like, hello, explain, because
Because 1 + 1 is equaling 5.
don't call me the devil
Yeah.
because you're ignoring geography.
So when he was doing all that, I was like, oh, so he's kind of like that guy.
Okay.
Thanks, Malcolm.
Yeah.
I know he didn't like to be called the N-word.
I didn't. That's why I didn't say.
He was that N-word.
He was.
He was.
I mean, look. All I can say is, Betty, I get it
completely.
But we're proposing over the phone.
Honestly,
right, Danielle.
Okay. Honestly,
click.
What?
Honestly, the way the movie was made in my brain, they only knew each other for a week. So
Right.
I feel like
Okay.
the tension, I don't know. Like he was like, "You want to get married?" And she was like, "Yeah."
I was like,
Like,
yeah.
I
Right. Now,
is it
I
logical?
I know it wasn't a week, but the way the movie went, it looked like,
It looked like it was like the same day, honestly,
yeah,
different time. And I was like,
Yeah.
it was like, we're going to the movies, but do you want to get married?
he was a very sought out gentleman. So I mean, I don't know if that and okay, now he did yell at her, and I was like, "Don't raise your voice." Okay,
Yeah.
Denzel, I know who you think you're talking to. However, outside of that, he was okay. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was sexist, but Malcolm wasn't really that sexist. Like he didn't really. He would like repeat things, but he was like, "No, I understand that like a woman is like their own person, and that the woman is the backbone of the family, and we are nothing without our women. You gotta treat your women." So I mean, like he like got it as much as a man could get it, but like he wasn't okay. He don't want to be called N words. I'm not gonna say that. He wasn't the worst N word to exist in history. Like, I mean, they didn't obviously they're not gonna get into affairs that might have happened, but I'm just saying he wasn't the worst.
Are you referencing Malcolm or the Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
No, I'm referencing
I got mixed up.
Malcolm. I'm saying
okay.
Malcolm would say things that he would like repeat some things that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad would say, but Betty would be like, no. And then Malcolm would be like, you're right. Black women are the soul of Black families.
Yes. Right.
And so it wasn't like he was, like I said, if he did have any extramarital affairs, they wouldn't have talked about it in a movie such as this.
Right.
But like from what I saw, I don't know though. If we keeping it 100, no, I'm not. Actually, I'm actually not gonna keep it 100. I'm not even gonna
keep it about 35.
No, yes,
I'm not gonna say it because I don't want that clip of me saying that out in the world.
No, just don't even say it.
You know what? It's actually perfect timing because we gotta wrap it up anyway.
Great. Love that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So final thoughts.
Great.
Or anything else y'all gotta say?
I don't think I would watch it again, only because I don't want to watch a 3.5 hour movie.
As long as
long.
That's just really the only reason why I wouldn't watch it again. But it's watchable. It's a great movie.
I did it for the show.
Yeah.
That's it. I think I said all of my notes except for the Russian roulette scene.
Oh yeah.
That was crazy. I was on the edge of my seat.
And he be in everything too. That person, he did the Russian roulette thing, and he was in Do the Right Thing. He played the person who was a little not there. He was in Tales from the Hood. Like he be in stuff.
I forgot we did Tales from the Hood. Wow, banger.
Wow,
banger.
Yeah, banger. Yeah. So you can do like a quick little recap and then give your rating.
Great movie. I was entertained, visually stimulating. I feel like if you're going to do a biopic on Malcolm X, this is exactly how you're supposed to do it. If you notice, who else has done a biopic on Malcolm X? I'll wait. At least no one that we know of, because this shit eats down. It's the last one that we ever need. Well, maybe I shouldn't go that far, but it's the last one that we need right now. And Spike Lee, I mean, thank you. This is the third Spike Lee joint we've done, I think. Yeah, I think this is the third one. And he has like what, 50? He has an insane amount of movies. So Spike, thank you for your contribution to history with this film. I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 hot combs. I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It was good.
Bree, what you got?
I thought it was a great movie. Again, shout out to Spike Lee in his hands, because writing that much I could never. I think that it was just, I don't know, it was just a very good movie. I think it's like one of those movies that you could play in history class because it's that historically accurate that you wouldn't be doing too much fluff. And it wasn't too much like, sometimes they get into the very sexual things, but they weren't like doing that for real. I really love that. I love the parallels of him and his father. I thought it was a genius movie, and I give it a solid 4.5.
So I also agree. Fantastic movie. It really held up to the autobiography. You can tell that they really took their time with it. Spike Lee took his time with it. I will say that, even though it was long, I feel like it was needed to be that long because, there's a lot of life to cover. So besides that one scene that we figured out, I don't think there was anything else to take out of it. The acting was great. The writing was great. Yeah, I also am gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5 hot combs.
Solid.
A solid movie, a Spike Lee joint. Yet again, that has been another episode of Hot Combs and Popcorn. Thank you all for listening and watching. Again, my name is Danielle.
My name is Brianna.
My name is Bobby.
And if you haven't done so already, please give us a follow, subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, throw us a like, share the episode, and let us know, have you watched Malcolm X? Have you read the book? If so, what are your thoughts on it? What's your rating? Did you watch it when it first came out 31 years ago in 1992? And if you have a movie suggestion that you would like us to review, let us know. Give us an Instagram DM. And them street lights, I think they coming on. So we gotta go. We'll see you next time. Same place. Bye, everyone.